Shalom, everyone. This is Shamir, and I thought I would introduce you to a few things that might help you if you're trying to follow any of the videos that I put out. And if maybe there's some things you don't know, some resources that you could use. These are uh, academic help things to help you. First, the videos really are not a one-time watch, so you can't watch it and then be like, oh, well, I can't do this because I didn't get it the first time. I have to watch it over and over again. Unfortunately, our academic system or our school system is not really geared to create learners. So when most people finish school, then that's the end of their learning. So if you haven't done any studying for a long time, don't expect magic, when you come to do this or you watch something like this. You just have to give yourself time. If you follow these videos, which most of them are going to be now, what I posted last week, uh, to give you more of an introduction to the apostolic writings or New Testament, to give you a different perspective on how to see them, connect it to the Torah or the Tanakh, since all of it is really coming from there anyway. Um, Also, you have to, if you've taken Hebrew before and feel like you failed, especially if you're in a class that was mixed with other students, everybody learns differently. Everyone has their own learning pattern. Some people learn faster, some process more slowly. So you can't really compare your intelligence to somebody else or how somebody else learns. Maybe the teacher wasn't that good, or I've even in Israel, people can't really read the Bible without studying it. Um, I've heard stories of just teachers who are good but not good teaching. So the students didn't learn anything. So it's not always on you, and so you have to remember that. Can't see yourself that way. As somebody that can't learn because of this or that, or maybe has some learning challenges. I have students who have dyslexia, things like that, and they are doing fine. So can't say that you can't learn because of this or that. Everybody can learn. A slower paced way of doing this. Like when you watch a video, make notes, you can stop it, you can download it, take the week. I would say give yourself a year, go through the videos as they come out and give yourself a year with it. For the alphabet, learn the alphabet, and take a little card and put it on your desk, tape it on there or whatever. The Hebrew vowel system always gives English speakers challenges because the vowels don't sound the same. If you have an E class vowel, it sounds like an A vowel, and because Hebrew vowels aren't patterned after English, so they're not gonna sound the same. So these are, I want to introduce some lexicons. These are supposedly easier ones. There's also many different um, quote unquote basic grammars, like the basics of biblical Hebrew. You can find out on Amazon. You can buy a used copy, although I don't recommend getting the second edition. You don't want the third edition. Don't buy the vocabulary cards because they were a mess. Write them out anyway. It's better to help you practice your handwriting. You can just write simply if you're at that level of writing or wanting to write. You do Aleph. Don't have to go all crazy like Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet. Trying to make it look fancy. You can just do like these little stick figures. A, Vav, Chet, Tet, and so on. Doesn't have to be like calligraphy, as long as you can read it. Um, there are some things with Hebrew words, so we'll talk about it. So this is one lexicon, a concise Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament. It's always better to have more than one. So it's the same guy actually who's written the other lexicon. Oh no, this is okay. So this is William Holiday. Um, this is kind of like a standard one. So you can come to Gimel. There's the Gimel. And look up, and then you have Gaal. It's telling you all the different verbs. So this Kal is one of the larger verb stems in Hebrew. So um, if you want to do like the most basic of basic is to learn the alphabet, and then you can kind of make your way through the lexicon a little bit. Uh, better to also try to learn the vowels. If you learn those two things, the alphabet and the vowels, then that will give you like a decent basis to start to learn to use the lexicon. This is another lexicon, Concise Dictionary of Classical Hebrew by David J. Kleins. And then you have Aleph, the basic word Av. Let me see, one translation is father or ancestor. Hebrew is context. Everything is context. So you can never take one Hebrew word and say this is what it means in all contexts, because that's just not good. Everything is context, context, context. I also have like a lot of cal verbs have nominal forms. So you have the word sheko, say. Right, and then you have, this is the noun, and then you have the verb. So this would be silver as money. In the first temple period anyway, people carried a bar of silver with them, and then they shaved off pieces of the silver and weighed it. And then you have shakal. Oops. This would be a cal verb. You see, they have the same consonants. A little Hebrew helps, but don't get caught up. And if you don't know Hebrew well, then it's probably better to not try to teach anything complicated, because, well, it's complicated. For Bible, of course, I always recommend just getting one that's completely in Hebrew, but because the eye naturally will be drawn to English. But some people like to use a parallel Bible, Hebrew and English, and then you can pick out words. So it gives you some help. You can buy a Hebrew concordance. So it's not all in Hebrew. It has Hebrew words, and then all the English verses that word is in, and how it might be used. Review, like one thing that trips people up is because they forget, but you have to review all the time. You can't just learn it and then that's it. You have to review, and review. And to keep it in your mind that learning is a lifelong journey. It's not, you start, you have a goal, and then you end, and then you're done. So if you study Hebrew or whatever, you have to keep in mind it's a lifelong journey. You can become more of an expert, but you'll never be an expert because the learning never stops, never ends. It's always something new, and you always discover something new about the language. There's new books, there's always articles. For articles, one scholarly place, very popular, you can go to JSTOR, JSTOR.org, I think. If you just type JSTOR into Google, it'll bring you up. You can read all kinds of articles there. You can save these videos, download them, and rewatch them, etc. And just, I prefer to just keep it in Hebrew. I know it makes it a little harder, but You will survive. You have your English translations, but translations probably aren't really something that should be something that's your only source. It is ignorant of us to think that we can just take an English Bible and that's all you ever have. You never study anything, you never study the language, you never study the history, you never study the culture. And what you end up with is a sermon that's a Western culture sermon with some Bible scriptures added in. People say things, they don't really know what they're talking about, they really have no idea. And we pretty much, at least the church world, you pretty much hear the same things that have been going around for 40 years, 50 years, same topics, nothing new. And you see with your own studies that if I said half the things that I know or read or studied in a regular, say a modern day church, I probably get stoned and I've been called a heretic, but it's like you have to study of the word in the language as opposed to what's out there. You can go on YouTube and hear the same kind of sermon from 50 different places. Uh, Not saying it's all bad, but you kind of got to step up a little higher and really know what the word says, really know what the Bible says. We say we want to know him, we have all these songs, and he's like, okay, well, here's my Torah, come in and sit down. And we say, oh no, but that's dead, and we don't. That's too much work, and I have other stuff to do, and what I'm doing is enough, so I don't need to do anymore. Uh, Maybe there's some other way I can get to know you better besides this. That's kind of how we are. So anyway, hopefully this helps. You can always send me an email or whatever if you're feeling froggy, haven't terrified you away. And that's it. So have a good, I guess if you're on the East Coast, it's only like 10 o'clock. So have a good morning. And until next time. Bye bye.